shape or form. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
I call the honourable member Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's really lovely to be following the flower of the North Shore. That last speech, sir, wasn't so much a case of spray and walk away. It was more spray and sit down. It's very clear, Mr Speaker, that this bill, this very fine members' bill from Darian Fenton, who seems to have a knack for pulling excellent members' bills out of the ballot, and this is just another one in the series. This bill has touched a deep nerve in the National Party benches. And, sir, it exposes what is a philosophical fault line in this House, and that is the members on that side stand for user pays and an individualism that is in stark contrast, sir, to those on this side of the House who stand for public provision and community. That's exactly right. It was, sir, the British Labour Prime Minister Clement Attlee who said famously that taxation is the price of a decent society. And I would say, sir, to paraphrase Clement Attlee, that public libraries, are an indicator of the health of a decent society. And that's why, Sir Darian Fenton has brought this bill to the House. It shouldn't surprise anybody here that the idea of ensuring, of guaranteeing the public library as a place where anybody in the community has free and equal access to the information commons, it shouldn't surprise us that that notion is extremely challenging to the members of the National Party, sir. The idea that people should have free and equal access to information, sir, that is an idea that the National Party simply can't get their heads around. It's worth remembering that the public library is an institution in our society that developed at the same time, sir, over the last couple of hundred years. It developed alongside free, universal public education. It developed at the same time as we extended universal franchise in our society. It developed at the same time as we began to govern our towns and our cities and our communities through democratic public institutions and not through private oligarchies. And there's a reason, sir. Those are all fantastic public achievements in modern history. And they are all based on the understanding that free and equal access to information is the cornerstone of democracy. That's what it's about, and that's why the National Party don't like this bill. They don't like the whole idea that anybody should be entitled to turn up to a public library and have access to information, whether it's on the internet, whether it's on a DVD, or whether it's in a book. Now, Nick Smith got up in this debate. Nick Smith got up and poured scorn on Labor for supporting a bill that he said infringed the rights of local government. This is the man who has sacked Environment Canterbury, who's in the process of stripping local government of its powers and purposes, and he got up and tried to poke the borax at Labor for interfering in local government. That is such an absurdity. But the thing is that Nick Smith pointed to the Internet Cafe as the great institution in Nelson, and I think that actually perfectly symbolises the National Party's idea of society is the user pays Internet Cafe. And over this side of the House, sir, we champion the publicly available, publicly provided library where any child in a town or city or a suburb around New Zealand can turn up at that library and have access through broadband internet and a collection of books and magazines and DVDs and all sorts of information. That is the kind of society that Labor stands for and that Nick Smith and the National Party clearly don't understand. So I want to finish by making a tribute to the librarians of this country. They are a wonderful breed of people who are dedicated to service. They are dedicated to the community and the sharing of knowledge. And all over New Zealand tonight, sir, librarians from our public libraries will be watching this debate with interest, sir. They will be appalled by the selfish, narrow-minded Philistinism that they've heard from the National Party tonight. And may the rage of 1,000 librarians rain down on the heads of the National Party.
I call the honourable member Jamie Lee Ross.
Mr. Speaker, I can see that the